Several years ago, an art restorer was working on a centuries old painting that had been badly damaged. At first glance, the canvas looked ruined. But as the renovator carefully cleaned and repaired it, something unexpected appeared beneath the surface. Earlier sketches were revealed in layers that were planned by the original artist long before the final image was complete. What looked like damage and randomness was part of a deliberate process. The artist had always known what the finished work would look like, even when it didn't yet look like much to anyone else. Greetings, Patriots. I'm Perry Green. This is God in America, where we reconnect God and America by telling of His hand in our history. Because when a nation remembers God, freedom has a future. Today, we're talking about the values of life held by America's forefathers and mothers, why they believed human life had inherent worth, and why that belief mattered then and still matters now. This matters today because when people forget why life is sacred, liberty soon becomes negotiable. To understand American freedom, we must first understand America's view of life. The America founding did not begin with raw political theory. It began with moral assumptions shaped by scripture, natural law, and generations of Christian teaching. Chief among those assumptions was this: human life has value because it is given by God. That conviction is written plainly in the Declaration of Independence. The document does not begin with government power or human preference, it begins with creation itself. We believe these truths to be self evident: that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Equality was not based on ability, wealth, or status, it was based on creation. Life came first, and from it flowed rights. The Declaration continues that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Notice the order. Life is named first, not as an afterthought, but as a foundation. Without life, liberty cannot exist. Without life, there's no pursuit of happiness. America's founding fathers and mothers understood this deeply. Abigail Adams consistently emphasized moral responsibility and human dignity in her letters. Mercy Otis Warren warned that liberty could not survive without virtue. These were not abstract ideas. They were lived beliefs rooted in the understanding that human beings are accountable to God because they're created by Him. Even the grievances listed against King George reflected this value of life. The Declaration condemns him for having plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burned our towns, and destroyed the lives of people. The loss of life was not incidental, it was a moral outrage. For the founding generation, government existed to protect life, not redefined its worth. This belief aligns clearly with Scripture. From the opening chapter of the Bible, we read that mankind is made in the image of God. Life is not accidental, it's intentional. Psalm 139 reminds us that God is personally involved in human creation. Listen to verses 13 through 16. For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. The founders may have differed in their denominations and doctrines, but they shared a common understanding. Rights come from God because life comes from God. When the government forgets that, it begins to act as the giver of life and rights instead of their protector. Scripture teaches that life is entrusted to us, not owned by us. That truth informed early American thinking and restrained political power. Here's the enduring lesson: liberty depends on how people value life. This is the faith and freedom truth woven into America's foundation. God gives life, and because God gives life, He alone defines its worth. Government exists to guard that gift, not to measure its usefulness. In contrast to America, Canada has legalized medically assisted death when the government decides a person's life is worthless. It is also outlawing the Bible, calling it hate speech. Unless America returns to God, the same process will follow here. Recently, a heretical female pastor declared that Jesus could have added this to his list of Beatitudes: blessed are those who end their pregnancies. What a sacrilege. Life is sacred, and laws must protect the vulnerable. Since life is sacred, freedom must be exercised with moral responsibility, and citizens must resist the temptation to reduce human beings to numbers, labels, or conveniences. Today, I want to encourage you to take the time to affirm the value of life by encouraging someone who may feel overlooked, forgotten, or insignificant. Write a note, make a phone call, or have a conversation that reminds another person they are created in the image of God and have inherent worth. Then reread Psalm 139, verses 13 through 16, and thank God for the gift of life, your own and that of those around you. We are blessed to bless others. The challenge is not merely to admire the founders, but to recover the convictions that sustain them, make those convictions ours, and to defend life with clarity, to live with gratitude, and to steward the liberty God entrusted to us. Thanks for being with us today. Until next time, let's keep the light of the sanctity of life burning.